Hey there, today I am back in my garden and today I want to show you a couple things that I have been planting and probably one other little short project that I want to do today. I want to walk you through what I've already been planting in April, maybe touch on a couple things that I already have planted, and then maybe if I have time just to briefly mention the other things that I have planned for April. First thing I want to talk about is one thing that I was really excited to try this year was more tropical type plants. I live in garden zone 8B, so we are considered humid subtropical. We do have a winter, but it's a mild winter. It's short, probably I would say truly from December to February, sometimes November to February. It just depends on the year. So I got off topic. I do that, so I try to bring myself back around. The point was tropical climate plants. So I've been inspired by My Carolina Garden and a couple of other channels, and actually one of my neighbors has banana trees, or a banana tree. I did a lot of research on it. I did a lot of thinking, debating, and I decided to go ahead and try to plant a banana tree. I was going to order them online, and then I was researching a little bit, and it said it would be better, if possible, if I could buy them from a local nursery, just to see what kinds are typically sold in my area. So I went to the local nursery, and I bought 2 dwarf Cavendish banana plants. So I got those from the nursery, and the tag says they will get 8 to 10 feet tall in I don't know if it'll happen in a year. It may be over, they may not get that tall the first year. I'll just have to wait and see. So I got those, like I said, I got those from the garden center. I brought them home. I was going to wait a little while to plant them, but I knew that storms were coming, and I knew that cooler weather was coming. So I rely on the weather a lot to determine when I'm going to plant things. I have mentioned that before. The other end of my garden is the south end of my garden. This is the north end of my garden, east, west. So the south end of my garden is pretty much full sun. There is some shade in the morning from this tree over here on the east, but once the sun comes around, it is blazing hot sun through the summer. So I thought, first of all, I thought they'd do well there. I put them at the very end of the bed, and then that way they might provide some shade coming back this way. That way, if I want to plant anything that's like full sun or part sun, I can kind of figure that out through the summer, because typically I just plant like full sun everything on that end. So I started out by kind of pacing out where I wanted to plant it. It said they need maybe 6 to 8 feet. I don't know, 6 to 8 feet apart. And I would say, looking at it, it's probably 8 feet apart between the two. That way when the leaves expand and grow, they won't be just necessarily hitting each other. But that would also be cool if I had a little archway. I don't know, that's something we'll have to see if they get that tall. But each one of them has already produced another leaf, and the leaf has opened up. So, and I think it has the next leaf coming. I dug out the soil, which was heavy clay soil, removed part of it, mixed in garden soil, kind of mixed that together, and then kind of topped it off with both. And then I put bone meal around the base of those, and then I covered them with a layer of mulch, which I don't typically do in the garden, because a lot of the plants end up shading each other, and I don't really need a lot of mulch. But I decided, since these are going to be heavy feeders, they need a lot of water, they need a lot of sun. If I'm having to water those every day or every other day, that layer of mulch is going to help keep the water in the soil, and I won't have to come back every day to dry soil. So the other thing about this garden bed is I have other warm season plants. So dahlias. I planted dahlias last summer. I planted floret dahlias in this end of the garden. One of those I dug up. I was going to try to dig it up and try to just let it you know, stay in like a little bin. And then I got to thinking, I know there are people in a lot colder zones than I live in, and they leave them in the ground and they cover up with mulch, and that's what I did. So to my surprise and to my joy, all of those are coming up except maybe one. So I think I have 5 or 6 that came back. Other small little task, in my mailbox, I don't have a picture. I have a picture of like the pack, but it has there's an Echinacea down there at the mailbox, and then I planted some Zinnias a few weeks ago, and then I planted some more Zinnias because I think some of the other ones got washed away by the rain, or they just didn't germinate. But anyway, I've got 2 packs of Zinnias down there and Echinacea, so that is going to be really, really pretty combination. I've also planted some more elephant ears. I have a pot that I planted some elephant ears in. I planted some in my last video, but then I also planted some in a planter, and then a fire ant bed took over the planter, which I put some diatomaceous earth on those. They seem to have gone away. I do not feel like they are gone away for good. They have just buried themselves deeper in the pot, or they've moved out of it. But I've been battling fire ants in the garden already. I've got my garden journal here. I showed this last time. I've actually found another one of these at Target. I'll show maybe next time. I got this and 2 other cute notebooks that are like garden or plant themed. One of them is it's got little plants and flowers on it, or like herbs, and then the other one is just a white notebook with like maybe palm leaves on it. So I got these for they were like $9 each, and I wanted to get another one of these because I've had it and I really like it. It's very sturdy, so I can write down what I'm planting each month or what I hope to plant, and then projects. So if I have any work to do around the garden, I write it in here. And yes, I could keep it on my phone. Yes, I could keep it in a spreadsheet. But I sometimes feel better when I can go back and find it on a piece of paper. That's just me. Not with everything, because I don't take this with me. So, but I could always go back and look at my video and take like a screenshot if I needed to, or just take a photo of it and have it with me if I'm trying to remember what else I wanted to order. So that is really all I have to say about that. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to plant, I have, it's like a little winter sowing update. In January, I think, and in February, I did winter sowing. I had to come back again and do it again, or maybe I was just being impatient. No, I know what it was. The first set got like kind of moldy. I don't know if mold is the right word. Maybe like algae. That doesn't make sense. I don't know what it was. I should know that, but I don't. But anyway, let me show you what that looks like. Let me show you what that looks like. I'm going to show you the Echinacea that I planted. There's about 6 plants in there. I'm going to try to get them cut in half and put into like a little, so let me show you what's in those little containers. I'm going to try to like divide them in half, where there's maybe like 2 in each one, and put it into another little pot so those can start to get more sun. Okay, here's my little winter sowing project. Here are the Echinacea. I think I planted these in February. I took the tape off. So anyway, we'll try to get those out of there. Try to get these out of here, put them in here, fill them in with dirt, water them, and then make sure they're getting enough sun. Okay, I planted those. Let me show you. So there's 3 right here. 1, 2, 3, and then I've got 2 in this one. So I'm gonna water these and then we'll see how they do. So I finished what I had planned today, or planned talking about. I showed you the banana trees, and I will most likely get a soaker hose for both of those, because I think it does say they require a lot of water, and I do not want to have to stand and water those every day in the heat of summer. I don't mind like a couple times a week, but I mean, it's relaxing, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to just have to stand there for like minutes and hand water each one of those. I don't know, I'll see how it goes. Maybe I will. If you made it to the end, thank you for watching. I will be back either in April or early May to give updates on what I'm growing next. See you next time.